Today, with the help of the old knucklehead, I'm pulling a threefer. Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Photo Dave, this is Toypixx, and in this video, I'm going to be snapping a photo of Wolverine here, and then I'm going to take that photo and put it in Photoshop so I can show you how to make your photos look like movie stills. That's where the threefer comes in. It's Wolverine Wednesday. So the photo I create of the old knucklehead, well, that's going to be today's toy photo, and then I'm going to use the steps that I use in Photoshop to make it look like a movie still and set up an action for those of you who have Photoshop so you can use it on your own photos. And if you don't have Photoshop, scan the QR code here. See how I'm waiting by just doing this? Okay, you've had enough time. Now, if you're new to Toypixx, the QR code in the corner there is so you can scan it and get your free action figure photography guide, which also signs you up for the Toypixx newsletter. Now, if you're not into scanning QR codes, the link will also be in the video description below, and then stay to the end of the video where we'll be showing off today's photo of the day, and you'll get the link and a QR code so you can go grab that action I was talking about earlier. Now, let's get to actually shooting this bad boy, shall we? Okay, here's the photo setup. I'm using an Extreme Sets Asylum diorama for this main dio that he's standing in. Then we've got a Neewer light there that's turned pretty low. I know it looks a little higher here, but that's turned pretty low to kind of backlight him ever so slightly. And then we've got a Best Night Light right here. That's the app that I'm using on my iPad to give him kind of that harsher light coming in from the side there. And we've got the red light with a piece of unused, I figure that's important to get in there, toilet paper over it so that it can diffuse the light a little bit so it's not super harsh on the big man or the runt. And then, just to add more stuff to the front, I've got a motorcycle here because that's Wolvie style. Now he's thrown down with some bats, and he's celebrating by having a brew, because again, that's Wolvie style. Now what I'll probably do is I'll end up using a 75 to 300 millimeter telephoto lens, just to make it kind of, I mean, not insane dimension. Usually if there was action, I'd use a different lens, and I'll talk about that more in a later video. But what's going to happen is the image will be kind of flat, it'll pull the background in a little bit more, but Wolvie will be totally clear with everything else around him blurry. So that's what will give the image its dimension. So now I'm going to shoot it and then throw it in Photoshop. Alright folks, first things first. This is the Wolverine photo as I shot it straight out of the camera. There hasn't been any editing done on it just yet. Now, do you remember when they were making a lot of action movies, such as Transformers, where a lot of the darker areas were sort of a blue cyan with a little bit of green, that sort of filtering, and then the lighter areas tended to have a little more orange in it? That's kind of the look that I'm going for right here. So, here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is just create an adjustment layer that is selective color. Alright, and there it is, right in the middle of the things for you to see. Now, we're just going to play for a minute. We can see what the cyan's doing, and that's something that my mom actually taught me way back when, because I was a little anal about this stuff. She said, no, just play with this stuff, because I used to think I should just keep the settings the way they were in Photoshop. And if it weren't for her, I might not be playing quite as much when it comes to this. Now, let's add some cyan in the neutral area. Ooh, that's looking all right. I feel like Bob Ross. Ooh, happy trees. Yay. And then, let's see, I'll add some blue here, just a bit. I want a little more cyan. I felt like the cyan was the more prominent color when it came to that kind of filtering. On the other hand, we could also add a little bit of green, because there was some of that too. So that's just kind of sitting here and playing until you find something that you like in the neutral channel. Now, I'm pretty good with that. We'll now go to reds, and the red is pretty bright. We want it to be a little, not so crazy like that. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of cyan to the red. I think that's getting a little better. Then is there anything else? Let's see, in the yellow channel, we could go a little more blue there with the red. Okay, and now we'll play with the yellow channel itself, where we can add just a touch more cyan even, or we can back it out. I can back it out. Good Lord, I'm driving myself crazy. So we're getting a little more orange. I'm getting a little more orange, but it's almost too orange, and I could do a lot of desaturating, but I think what I'm gonna do instead is play with the yellow a little more. I'm going to back it out. There, okay. I'm getting a little better look with the yellow, I think anyway. Now I'm also going to back it out to add a little bit of that green tint. So we're still getting the bright, like the red and the yellow, and we're getting a little more of an orangey color. I'm getting a little more of an orangey color. Good Lord. We don't really need to do anything. I don't need to really do anything with black. How many of you are just going to mock me for my I and my we? I swear, I don't talk with the royal we, and yet somehow I'm sitting here doing this all the time. Let's go to red. I want to add a little yellow to the red channel. Just a touch. Yeah, that's looking a little better. Maybe a little more green in the magenta too. Ooh, I think I'm about there. Yeah. I think I'm happy with that. That gives it sort of that, I don't know, what was it, late aughts, early teens, whatever, action movie look. One thing I might do, though, let's go to the cyans. No, let's go to the reds and see. Kind of, yeah, adding just a touch of black. Okay, now I think I'm pretty happy with this. Now, your mileage is going to vary. I'll set up a selective color action so you can play, and I'll include this file with it as well, so you can see what it's doing on this picture. From there, you'll be able to do the whole selective color thing on your own photo, and what I might suggest doing is just taking your photo and layering it over this photo. So you can see directly what the selective color adjustment layer is doing to the photo that you put on here. Otherwise, you're just going to be playing with this one, and all photos are different, so all these settings are going to be different. Yeah, alright, that's what I've got. So, I'm going to finish this, going to set up that action, and I'll see you in front of the ring light. Yep, it's a ring light. And there you have it, folks. That is how you give your photo a cinematic look using a selective color adjustment layer. Now, before I go any further, I wanted to let you know I made that far too complicated because I was going to set it up as an action. It doesn't need to be an action. It was one adjustment layer and just some sliders, and all those sliders in that adjustment layer are going to have to be different on every photo that you shoot. So it really didn't make sense the more I thought about it. So I'm going to do things differently, but you'll just wait to the end of the video. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I did want to explain what an action was real quick, just so you're not confused and don't know why I wouldn't set one up for this particular thing. An action is something that, say, you need done to every image you've got. For instance, I worked at a place that needed kind of a cyan blue sort of look across all the images in their marketing materials. But you couldn't just like pick a color and do an overlay. There were several steps involved in coming up with this particular look. And it was a pain in the butt to do it manually every time. And so what an action did is instead I went in and I decided, okay, let's set this up. So I recorded this action of me doing all these steps and then saved it. And what that allowed me to do is the next time one of those photos came my way, I just had to find that action, hit play, and everything was done automatically. That's why actions are so valuable. I'm sure we'll get into actions a whole lot more going on in the future. That is a sentence that made no sense. Anyway, comment below and let me know. Did you dig this video? Do you want more videos like this? I know some of you have been asking, but I'm never quite sure just because of analytics. They're pains in the butt. And now, on to the totally surprising photo of the day on this Wolverine Wednesday. And ladies and gentlemen, here it is. That totally surprising photo that I did for Wolverine Wednesday. This is the Toypixx photo of the day. Now, just as every time I put one of these photos up, all you have to do is scan the QR code and you can visit Toypixx on X or /Twitter, I suppose, whichever one Elon wants to go with this week. And you'll be able to join the conversation for Wolverine Wednesday and hopefully comment with your own Wolverine Wednesday photos, because that's where the fun's at, right? That's why you're watching this stuff, is you also dig taking photos, and I dig seeing them. So, there's that. And now for today's Patreon freebie, yes friends, it's also this Wolverine photo that I worked on tonight, but it has that selective layer on top of it, so what you can do, like I said earlier, is you can put your picture inside that file and just play with those sliders, see what the selective layer will do for your photo, or you can even just leave it on the Wolverine photo and just play yourself. See if maybe you can make it a little better, or maybe if you're not quite sure how it works, just slide it so you can see what's going on. All that good stuff. And if you haven't seen one of my videos before, so you're aware, everything I put on Patreon is free. Anything at all that I'm trying to help people with when it comes to action figure photography, maybe even marketing materials in the future. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. There needs to be more hours in the day, really, I think is what all that comes down to. Anyway, it's all free. You can even sign up as a free Patreon subscriber for Toypixx. There are paid tiers as well, but it's all there for the taking. So if you want it, head over, grab it, scan the QR code, grab that Wolvie photo, and get to playing yourself. And folks, that's all I've got for this one, and I kinda need to get editing so that I can maybe go to bed before midnight tonight. I try to get up around 5 or 6. That plan's been failing the last couple days, so I probably should try and get back on schedule. But enough about me. How about you? How's your sleep? That's a weird question to end this video on, but hey, if you want to let me know, comment in the video, comment in the comments. Good Lord, I am sleep deprived, so I'm going to stop it there. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thanks as always for watching, and as always, have fun and happy snapping. See ya. Where's that pillow?